Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. With his coming.
I didn't like working with him, man. I thought the show was stale.
Stephen A. Smith's been on an absolute tear lately, and recently he's called out one person that he was once partners with, and this resulted in him getting into a beef with a NFL Hall of Famer. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. We're on the grind to 1 million subscribers on this channel, and now that we get all that out of the way, break. A huge smile to my face. Bam, 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 bam. You guys are making bank on Prize Picks. I absolutely love it. Week 1 was a huge success for a lot of you guys. And we're gonna keep it going, man. Each and every day, I post my picks for free on my Instagram story at The Flight Mike. And we're gonna feature the best slips on this channel each and every week. So submit them to me via Instagram DMs if you want to be featured. And if you haven't started playing Prize Picks, you use my promo code Mikerophone and they'll match your initial deposit when you sign up on Prize Picks. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I need to open this video up with a disclaimer. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, each and every one of those popular personalities that you see on television each and every day, in addition to Pat McAfee, are all inspirations to me, true legends of the business, and I hope that this content isn't seen as disrespect to them, because they've had a profound impact on me and my career, which is something I'm blessed to do for you guys on a daily basis. However, whenever there's beef going on between some of these individuals, I like to bring it to you guys, and I hope that my commentary on this situation isn't perceived as me disliking these individuals at all whatsoever, because I feel like all of them are legends. In April of 2016, Skip Bayless completely sent shockwaves throughout the world of sports analysis when he announced that he was leaving ESPN to join Fox Sports. Now, at the time, a lot of his ESPN co-hosts were excited about this. As a matter of fact, remember when LeBron James was able to come back from a 3-1 series deficit, Scott Van Pelt said this about Skip Bayless.
With LeBron James now unimpeachable. And that's the end of it. It is time to find a new axe to grind if you have made your living ripping him. Find a new axe.
We all know what would happen next. Skip Bayless would go to Fox Sports and create a remarkable dynamic duo with Shannon Sharpe that would be one of the most entertaining daily sports shows that we've ever seen in recent memory. Of course, recently Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless had their differences, which resulted in Shannon Sharpe leaving to eventually join Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, where he periodically calls him.
Yes, because if you think about it, the Lions were picked to win that division, Skip. I'm sorry.
Thing you just said, and he needs to stay his ass off social media, because here's the thing, Skip.
Steve, hey! It's all right. It's okay, my man. It's all right. 7 years, bro.
Now, before Stephen A. Smith would create an environment to entice Shannon Sharpe to leave Skip Bayless at Fox Sports, he definitely went through some rough patches after Skip Bayless left. Bear in mind, Skip Bayless was the one that gave Stephen A. Smith the opportunity to become a dominant force in sports analysis. He gave Shannon Sharpe that same opportunity as well. He's considered to be the godfather of sports debate shows for this particular reason. And for a period of time, Stephen A. Smith went through a bit of a rough patch. His initial replacement for Skip Bayless was none other than Max Kellerman. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Max Kellerman was a solid option. He was very insightful, very good at communicating his points, backed up all of his points with data and analysis. I actually thought he was a great foil to Stephen A. Smith. Now, it seems like Stephen A. Smith didn't feel the same way, because after 5 years on the show, Max Kellerman would eventually get forced off of First Take. And this resulted in a lot of questions as to why. Originally, Stephen A. Smith says he had nothing against Max Kellerman, and he actually opened up about why he forced Max Kellerman off of First Take. When he was asked what's the truth, he said the rumors are accurate in terms of me wanting him off of the show. Let's get that out of the way. Yes, I did. It wasn't really about asking him to be off the show. It was about the fact that I knew that we together, as far as I was concerned, were not a great partnership anymore. That was something that needed to change. The reason why I'm unapologetic about my position, number one, is that it's no knock against him professionally. His work ethic ethic and all that other stuff, his talent. It's not like I wanted the guy to be fired. I knew there were landing spots for him available at this network that would generate just as much, if not more, revenue for him and all of that other stuff. Smith went on to confirm that the decision was more about keeping things fresh on First Take by implementing change than removing Max Kellerman specifically. It wasn't my decision, Smith said. I gave my recommendation to ESPN. They ask it, I tell it. Every single year when the NBA season comes to an end, the bosses ask me where I stand, and I also told Max that. And at the time, this was Max's reaction. He disagreed with Stephen A, and he disagreed with him 3 years ago. He disagreed with him 2 years ago, and he disagreed this time. We've always understood where we stand with each other. He also knew that it was nothing personal, and it was nothing against him as a talent. I just didn't feel that moving forward, he and I together was the right call. And I said that the bosses, they disagree with me a few times in the past. Evidently, this time they understood, and they made the move. We don't have a bad relationship. I think he's a real good guy. I appreciate what he did for the show. We were number one for 5 years. We stayed number one, and I appreciate that. So we didn't really hear much in regards to Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman's relationship. It just seemed like Stephen A. Smith felt like First Take had to go in a different direction. Recently, Stephen A. Smith opened up about the situation once again, and this time, this is what he had to say about it on the Joe Budden podcast.
I didn't like working with him, man. It's just that damn simple. I didn't like it. I thought the show was stale. I thought that we had flatlined when it came to the public at large, and I'm trying to win. But you weren't an athlete and you weren't a journalist. Left people wondering, why should we listen to you? It was all business to me, and it was about, look, man, I'm trying to win, and I don't believe I can win with you.
Now, it seems like Stephen A. Smith, to his defense, was just focused on ratings. But the strange part about this entire story is they were ranked as the #1 show over and over again, consistently, year after year. So when Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith are creating the top show each and every year, it seems kind of odd to try to mix up that formula. Stephen A. Smith also said that at some point, you're going to need to do what you need to do or you don't. And if you don't do what you need to do, I'm going to get somebody who will. That's me, and I made no qualms about it. A lot of people are speculating that the real reason that this all went down was because one famous incident involving Terrell Owens, where TO pulled up on First Take and ruined everything. And man, you don't even need to look at anyone else but Max Kellerman's face as he says all of this, because you can see that immediately Max Kellerman knew at this very moment that his job was going to be taken away from him. Watch.
Obviously, Max is going to get in here, and like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with his coming, you know, with his commentary.
With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute. Wait to finish.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to check you right now. You don't cross the line.
I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. You don't cross the line.
Now, what makes this really comical is this one incident caused an all-out war between Stephen A. Smith and Terrell Owens. What started with him just talking about why he decided to move on from Max Kellerman resulted in him getting into this huge war with TO. And it ironically started with that one clip. So you can tell that this one clip truly bothers Stephen A. Smith, because TO would quote tweet this video saying facts. And then Stephen A. would respond saying, now for this dude, that's an entirely different story. You know how I feel about your sorry at TO, and you know why. You should thank your heavenly father I haven't zeroed in on you with the trifling you tried to pull. Tell folks to ask ESPN what your desperate tried to pull. Keep on talking. Eventually, you'll expose yourself. Real facts. Now, TO would respond to this saying, now, Stephen A., ask me if I'm scared. I thank God every day, or I at least try to do what you do best. I'm not worried. You don't have to make some bold attempt to expose me because I have nothing to hide. You're mad because of the advice of my attorney after we filed against ESPN because on air without my consent, you shared our text conversation. I'm not sure that constitutes as desperate, but enlighten us all. So my boy, hone in on me. I'm good. I'm blessed and God got me. You're still salty about that interview I did with you and Max a few years back, and I said what I said, and today I'm still hashtag Team Max. You got that man fired. That's messed up. You saw me in Colorado. You should have told me about my sorry then. So a nice little war of words, and I think TO is actually kind of right here. I guess since TO questioned Stephen A. Smith's character, that really offended Stephen A. I mean, hell man, if someone came up to me and said, hey, someone else is more Jewish than me, and that person isn't Jewish at all, I'd be a little little offended, so I don't blame Stephen A. Smith for saying that. Now, Stephen A. would say, or maybe I'll just dedicate the entire Stephen A. Smith show / podcast on YouTube this Monday to all the things you tried to do behind the scenes, to brothers. Over the years, while claiming someone is more of a brother than others, let me think about that over the next 24 hours. Hashtag sick of this, hashtag enough. I personally think it's a little cringy whenever someone says,
I'm gonna dedicate a whole podcast to you.
But TO would clap back saying, behind what scenes? Again, man, I'm not worried because I stand on my character and who I am. Better come up with some facts and not this hearsay and anonymous sources, because that's not gonna fly. So of all people that could get involved in this, Kyrie Irving would get involved. They got Stephen A. Smith. Can y'all call each other like grown, mature men and clear the air without all the extra social media back and forth? Get what you need off your chest and move on. Hashtag there are more important things to do. It feels like Twitter in 2014 when people are just hashtagging
there are more important things to do. Hashtag sick of this.
Stephen A. would respond to Kyrie saying, respectfully, bro, you don't know the whole story. I have nothing to say to his sorry, pathetic, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. You're right, bro. I'm man enough to admit that. I will stand down. Hashtag respect. That'll be the end of what Stephen A. Smith has to say before TO would actually talk about this on his own personal timeline a little bit. Josina Anderson would then tell TO, I'll agree that it's fine for Stephen A. Smith to want change, but Max lost a job and deserves due grace too, as you and others also stated, had many fans as well. And I will continue to say this is the strange part of the whole situation. The show was #1. Until Stephen A. Smith gives me a response on this, I am gonna have trouble understanding the real reason why Max Kellerman got pushed out. Now, I'm not some sort of hardcore Max Kellerman stan, but I will say I'm curious to know why Stephen A. Smith felt like Max Kellerman needed to go when the show was #1. That's just my personal take on it. At the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith, huge legend, have nothing but love and respect for him. TO, huge legend, bumped into him at the gym a couple times. He's a nice guy. Why do all these ex-NFL legends go to my gym? I don't know. But personally, I just think it's weird and random for Stephen A. Smith to bring up the fact that he pushed Max Kellerman out. It's clearly something that if you're bringing this up a couple years later, I guess you're just trying to dig up for any old drama you dealt with in the past, just so you could trend. And Stephen A. Smith is a master at that. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Whose side are you on? Are you Team TO or Team Stephen A? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.